we're making the final connections in the East Riverfront. We're starting to focus on the West as well.
All right, so talk to me about the projects. You decided on what the project was going to be for the West Riverfront, the renderings,
That's
and really
right.
what the architect is going to be doing. Where are we in the process?
So Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park is making tremendous progress. We spent a lot of time talking to the community about those initial ideas because, as you know, it was a design competition. So we asked really smart people to help us think and dream about the future of this. They came up with ideas, and then we needed to pressure test those into the community and make sure that we're actually building what the families are going to love, what they're going to respond to. So people love the idea of swimming. People love the playground that's evolving over on the West. People love the idea of the sports house, places to play basketball and recreational opportunities. And they want us to build it as fast as possible. So we're hoping to break ground next year on Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Centennial Park.
And so then down the line, are we looking then maybe 2 years down the line
Yeah.
before a finished product?
2022 for it to be open.
That's great.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the East Riverfront and what you guys are doing.
The East is just getting better and better, and some of these spots like Cullen Plaza here have just become so overloaded with people that we started to try to find ways to really expand it and encourage people to explore other parts of the East Riverfront that maybe they're not as familiar with.
Right.
So one of those big projects is Atwater Beach, which is right across from Skilling Foundation, right at the foot of Joseph Campo. And if you think about the riverfront from the perspective of a little kid, you know, you got these little ones who are cruising around
I
on
love seeing
scooters,
little
right?
kids
Oh, it's
around here,
amazing. Yeah, everybody loves the fountain in front of General Motors headquarters. Everybody loves the carousel here and the sandbox at Cullen Plaza. But then you got to walk about 20 minutes to get to Mount Elliott Splash Pad. So what the community came back and said is there someplace in between here and there that could be a great spot for families? And we've come up with this idea of Atwater Beach, which will be, imagine the biggest sandbox that you ever saw, you know, with all sorts of beach toys and, you know, beach umbrellas.
The 7-year-old inside of me is getting really excited
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
going to be really fun. A lot of spots for families to come down. We'll have our first community grills, so you can bring your own food and cook down there. It's really going to be a special place.
You know, this has been such a process in terms of investment here. How do you think what's happening on the riverfront is making the city look as a whole to other people around the country who are saying, gosh, maybe we can start to take advantage of our riverfront in that way too?
Well, it's amazing how many cities turned their backs on waterfronts in the early part of the 1900s. And there are a lot of places that come through here. About every 2 weeks we have Philadelphia, we have Chicago, we have Memphis coming through here to actually learn from the work that we've done here in Detroit. And I think one of the things that Detroit does is just bring people together at the riverfront. It's a big city, everybody knows that. We don't have a very dense community. There are just a lot of pockets of neighborhoods. So to have a place where everyone comes together really reminds us of how many great people live in this city, how many great families there are in this city, and also just to serve them and honor them by providing them spaces where kids can make memories and families can be families.
I think what's really interesting about it too when I come down here with my kids is that you see the city in a different way too, and you see different people coming into the city that maybe haven't spent a lot of time in the city before.
That's right.
But this does kind of operate as a space where everyone can belong and everyone can feel like they belong.
It does. Everyone feels proud of the city of Detroit when they come to the riverfront. And I think it reminds them of, you know, the beautiful natural features we have here with the river and the environment, but also it just reminds people of how many great people there are to interact with in the city. It's a really special spot, and we're really blessed to have this gathering place be such an attractive magnet.
All right, so 5 years down the road, if we're kind of like looking into what your grand planning is, what can we expect?
So 5 years down the road, you're going to be able to go from West Grand Boulevard to East Grand Boulevard. So from the Ambassador Bridge all the way to Belle Isle. The riverfront's going to be connected up, so all the assets on that island will be connected to this system. And we're going to have a series of greenways, like the DeQuinta Cut, that connect back into the neighborhoods. And it's really going to be a very powerful system. I think we'll also see a lot more economic development. We would love to see more jobs. We'd love to see the tax base built here in the East Riverfront. We're starting to see some of that. It's starting to accelerate. But this is still going to be a place where everyone comes together, and that's the most important thing for us.